He's going to go for the return. I know he thinks he can house every return, but sometimes you just have to take a knee as he stopped at the 14. Line gets set, first down. Linebackers trying to create some confusion. Here's the give off the left side. Solid gain to get him out close to the 20. Pick up a 5 to the 19. Guys, in basketball through the years, we've seen the Big Ten ACC Challenge, and it'll be fun to watch this one on the football field.
I think this is going to be a real test of physicality. I know these are two conferences that pride themselves on that, going out and establishing the line of scrimmage. So, David, interesting X's and O's matchup here in this one.
Yeah, and it's always cool to have those measuring stick opponents. Like, once we start getting deeper in the season and start having the comparison game, well, you have a matchup, a big matchup of a Big Ten school versus an ACC school. This will be used in the college football playoff criteria.
Tried to move that pile forward. He maybe gets 2. He's down at the 21.
Now, that's what you try to do as a defense. Limit those damages when they run the football. Get them on the ground, short gains to set your defense for positive situations down the road.
They'll need 3 yards here on third down to keep this opening drive alive. Looks as if he's going to run it. Didn't get much, picked up a yard, and that will leave them with 4th and 2.
And you could tell the QB wants to run. He's going to be a big part of the game plan, and the defense really, really understands that. I got to understand, and more importantly, when I get a lick on this cat, I got to take it. Like, not dirty, not cheap shots, but end of the plays, when I can be physical and really make him feel me, I think that'll always bode well in a fourth quarter game.
And the coverage team gets the returner on the ground. This crowd, full throat, spreading the eardrums and letting them know it's going to be a long day. They think they can create space here with a run to the right. Continuing to turn and move it forward, and they're closing in on midfield. It's down at the 48.
I know it's sexy to throw the football, but if you can pound it away and get these kind of gains, they will just add up, wear the defense down, get first downs, and ultimately get some points.
Trying play action. And there was nowhere to go for this quarterback, and down he goes.
Well, the Miami linebacker shows you his speed on that play. And when I talk about Miami linebackers, it is a bit of a sore subject for me. We played against the Canes in the Sugar Bowl my senior year in college. I got hit multiple times by multiple Miami linebackers and spent multiple days in an ice tub post-game.
He's taking the shot. Makes the catch down the right side. Ripping through the defense and getting it all the way down to the 24-yard line. And the Wolverines with the 1st and 10. They'll try the run. They wrestle him to the ground, but he's got plenty for a first down.
You've got to be loving what you're seeing from your offense here on the opening drive of this game. They're in a really nice rhythm. They've got real good balance going on right now, and they've got the defense on their heels.
And he waltzes in for the score. Touchdown, Wolverines. They're on the board first here in the season opener. Well, 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 somebody's been doing their box jumps.
You ain't lying. Getting up in the air. Hey, listen, I'm taking a picture of that, saving it. That might be my screensaver on my phone. That vertical way up in the air.
The returner will field it and try to do some business. He was hoping for something a little more dynamic, but they get him on the ground at the 20. Here comes the Hurricane offense looking to gather a little more strength. Last time, David, it was 1-2-3 kick.
The last drive, that 3 and out, sometimes that puts your defense in a bad spot, and you got to get a drive together here so you don't wear the defense out.
I just think, David, too predictable that last drive. They got to do something here to get this defense on their heels.
QBs, when you see zone coverage, man, can you manipulate defense where you have a good pocket and you've got time to throw. He had a little bit of time to throw. You can move guys with your eyes. That drag comes wide open. Good throw, good catch, first down.
Working and poking and prodding and finding his way up to the 36.
Small gain, I know. But again, the defense knows he's going to run the football. He's willing to run the football, not just drop back and pass. Make him honor the run game. You got to do a lot of this.
Looking to throw. Fires downfield. And that's going to be incomplete. A lot of contact on the play, but no flags. It'll be third down.
Hey, man, if you're going to force incompletions when the QB's thrown to the tight end, you better be physical. Nice job with the hit, forcing that incompletion.
Couldn't find his man last time, and that leaves him with a 3rd and 6. Wide out in motion. Quarterback will audible. On 3rd and long, trying to have a big completion here. Oh, they really could have used that catch there. Physical pass defense. It brings up a 4th down.
This is a point where you just got to be able to focus. And the critical down and distances in this game, like that 3rd down right there, when it's a good throw, you got to make the catch. You've got to be able to make that play.
Well, the offense is taking a chance here, staying on the field inside its own 40. On 4th down, they'll throw for it. Finds his man enough for the first. And they finally get him to the ground. An easy conversion for this offense. Defense not exactly the perfect 4th down call there.
And they're showing you their intentions early in the game. It's 4th down. You're in your own end. We're going to be aggressive, and we're not just going to do this early. We're going to do this all game long. Awesome execution on a critical down.
Running back searching for a hole. We'll give him a couple on that one. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Man, that D-tackle is a freak athlete. Did you see him come out of his stance and beat the offensive lineman, getting to the running back? Cat-like quickness.
After picking up a couple, it's 2nd and 8. Motion from the offense. On 2nd down, wants to throw it. He finds his man. Makes the catch, and he's brought down.
Well, this guy's not easy to bring down. They just throw him a simple hitch pass, but he's got so many moves out in the open field. You've got to get a lot of hats to the football to get that guy down, prevent him from scoring on big plays.
From the 36, a 3rd down, and you wonder if they're willing to take 2 plays to get the first. They'll try to get the first through the air. Can't make the connection on 3rd down thanks to that tough, hard-nosed pass defense, and now it's 4th down.
Yeah, and 3rd and short, they choose not to run, throw the football, and I think a lot of that has to do with they know they're in field goal range. They can take the 3 points on the board.
They'd be looking at a 53-yard field goal from here. Instead, they'll try to pick it up on 4th down. He'll try to throw and pick up the first down. Good timing on the quick out. He will step out of bounds, but not before the big pickup and a first down for this offense.
Wow, and that was just a bang-bang play. On that 4th down, the coverage was tight. QB had his receiver. He knew where he wanted to go with it, but the only way that ball gets completed is if he puts a little extra mustard on it, and he shows you the arm talent on the throw.
Receiver on the move gets the touch pass. Got enough space, and he's going to take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Canes! And the extra point was good. So it's an 80-yard drive, and they finish it off with a touchdown toss from the 23. After that latest answer tied things up, just about set to kick it away again. That one bounds through the end zone, and it'll be a touchback. Guys, here come those maize and blue winged helmets on offense. After standing on the sideline and watching that long touchdown drive, they really need to put something together to give their defense a rest.
And that's a real thing, man. Like, you played a lot of plays, you get worn out. You need a chance to go decompress on the sideline, get some oxygen. Palmer, now it's on this offense.
Yeah, this is the definition of complementary football because it's a two-pronged problem. You've got to score points and answer, but you've also got to take your time and give your defense an opportunity to get their win.
Off the play fake. The throw. Firing to the right, complete. And they don't drag him down until he gets all the way to the 46-yard line.
Well, that's a really nice job surveying the field and delivering an accurate throw. You know, when I think back to Michigan quarterbacks, I think of guys like Elvis Gerber or Tom Brady, Jim Harbaugh, Brian Griese, guys that can hurt you throwing the ball from the pocket, surveying the field, reading defenses, and making quick decisions. This guy has the ability to do all of those things.
After losing a couple on that last play, here's 2nd and 12. Touch pass on the right. Really nice stop there from this senior leader.
Well, and on these little push passes, timing is so important. You're trying to snap it right as he's getting a full head of steam. When he gets the ball, he's hitting the outside, David. It puts the defense in such a difficult spot.
You immediately have to be rotating when you see that motion, so everybody's got to communicate and kind of bump over. That's why offenses...
Touchdown, Michigan! And once he found some daylight, it was time to make a house call.
And this offense gets on the board, and the first passing touchdown of the season, and I feel pretty confident saying the first of many. This offense looks like they're in a good rhythm, and this passing attack's going to be hard to stop.
And the PAT gives them a 14-7 lead. And let's check in with Kevin Connors in the studio. Kevin?
Guys, the big top 15 battle is underway, and it's been very interesting so far. Texas has just had no answers today. They are getting barbecued right now. This team simply does not look prepared, and at this level, you can't have that. They're trailing by 21 to Texas A&M. Just another week of college football where we've come to expect the unexpected. Fellas?
Oh, and how about that? I know Kevin and those guys will be keeping an eye on it for us. And here comes that Miami offense back onto the field. They'll try the right side. He's knocked down in the backfield. He'll lose a couple.
Offense trying to go with some misdirection in the run game to the boundary, but the defense was there. They're able to corral the back behind the line of scrimmage for a loss.
After getting knocked back to open this drive, it's 2nd and 12. Receivers telling the quarterback what they see. On 2nd down, he's looking downfield. Boy, did that one have revolutions on it, but it's incomplete.
Well, that's one the offense would love to have back. That's a play they practice over and over and over. They feel like they can run that play in their sleep, not able to connect there.
try to throw for it. Oh, what a grab by the defense. Touchdown, Wolverines. A great return for the touchdown. Any return for a touchdown is a great one to a defense. Look, a lot of time left. There's a little bit of distance right now being put on the scoreboard.
There is, but it's so awesome when you're a defense and you study all week about what's coming and what routes to be ready for, and then you jump the route and you make the plays and you just go get in that end zone. It is so beautiful.
Fielded in the end zone. It's Johnson. I know he thinks he can house every return, but sometimes you just have to take a knee as he stopped at the 14. Here comes the Hurricane offense looking to gather a little more strength. Now we'll get a chance to see if they can answer that last score, trailing by 14, Jesse.
Yeah, and at this point of the game, I feel like offensively, you should go back to what's been working for you in this game. Don't be afraid to dial up plays that you've already had success with, running it and throwing it. It's okay to repeat plays down 14 at this point.
And I would also say, Palmer, kind of understanding that my defense is not playing great, so I know offensively I got to put some good possessions together here, make something happen on this side of the football.
It's going to be important this offensive line is able to get a little bit of push. Just got to give this guy an inch, a little crease, and he can make yards for you.
6-yard pickup on first down leaves him with 2nd and 4. He'll pitch it. Finding a way to put that foot in the ground and get it up to the 37-yard line.
And as an offense, having success on a run play like that early in the game just opens up all the possibilities of your playbook moving forward. Play action, running the ball, throwing the ball, screens, anything is at your disposal at this point.
Solid work and execution there. They'll have a first down as they mark it at the 40.
And a lot of coaches put a lot of emphasis on situational type running, right? When it's a goal-to-go situation, short yardage situation, like when I need to run the football and they know I'm running the football. Right there, haven't had a lot of success, but I needed a few yards to get the first down. Great job by the offensive line, creating some space and getting the first down.
They'll go to the ground. At midfield, he's got room. And he found plenty of running room on that one before the defense was finally able to get him down. And the Canes will snap it on 1st and 10. They've got him looking run. Now they're going to throw it. With the catch, it's Selvia. And he goes out of bounds after a nice pickup on that one.
You know, sometimes when you're throwing against zone coverage, you need time for the routes to develop. So nice job by the quarterback there, being patient, allowing his receivers to work themselves open.
Let's see what they've got on 2nd down. He's looking to throw. Safe completion on the screen. And the catch was one thing, and the run even better. A big pickup on that one.
Great job, too, by the QB there. Holding the ball as long as possible, allowing the pass rush to get upfield, and at the very last second, getting it to his guy so that he can go get the first down.
Try to get it to the edge. Just couldn't get away from the tackle.
That's a really good stop by the defense, Jesse. They need a few more. You've given up a bunch of yards on this drive and a bunch of plays, but all that matters is keeping them off the scoreboard.
Yeah, it's that bend, don't break mentality you're seeing right now, and this is the point where this defense has just got to lock in.
On 2nd down, he'll let it fly. Trying to make magic with his feet. And this sophomore quarterback learning when to use his legs to move the chains.
Well, he does a really nice job buying time, and I love the awareness there, understanding no one's open downfield, knowing where the sticks are, and he's able to use his athleticism to get that first down.
Pull down after a gain of 5. It's at the 9-yard line.
I know the passing game sells, the passing game is exciting, but it's not exciting to get 5 or 6 yards of pop on the ground, but it will be very successful.
They'll run it to the right. He'll be brought down at the 5-yard line, and this defense is on its heels. We've made our way to the 2-minute warning, and now they'll try to at least cut a little something off of this lead before the break. They'd love to pick up this 3rd down and get a fresh set with 1st and goal. This quarterback part of their running game. Can't quite cross the plane to get the 6, but they'll have the first down.
I know it's early, but you're down by a lot of points. You've got to go for it here on 4th down, David. I'm finding my best player offensively giving him a shot.
And what you said is all the difference in the world. I'm already down a lot early. I got to make some things happen. This is a situation to get a touchdown. I'm going for it.
And he takes it in for the score. Touchdown, Hurricane.
That's a nice drive, a nice physicality, punching it in with the run game. And here's the thing. I like where this offense is going. Nice job creating some momentum, going into the half, cutting down the lead. This thing could get really exciting. Nice job answering the bell right before the half.
It bounds through the back of the end zone, and it'll be a touchback. Michigan ready to get that offense rolling again. Now they need to put something together to answer that last score.
There's a lot of pressure, too, on this offense to have to execute at a high level. They've got to score points, David, but they can't go too fast because their defense right now is tied.
And I think that's the difficulty being a play caller. Like, I have to balance all of those things. My defense is a little bit tired. I can't put on the field, but I got to be aggressive because this is a back-and-forth type game, so a lot to process and think about.
Now he's going to glide away from pressure. The ball's free. And the fumble goes out of bounds. They'll maintain possession. Actually picked up yardage on the play.
Ooh, offense really lucky there. Ball on the ground. Everybody's trying to make a scramble for it, and it just goes out of bounds. So the offense lucky to maintain possession.
He'll have enough for the first down, and they stop him at the 45.
And this guy is elite. There's a reason why he starts in this offense. You just saw the speed and the open field running ability on that last play. And this is a guy that is going to be key to the entire season for this offense.
Buys a little time. Trying to make magic on the scramble.
You see a lot of quarterbacks get in trouble when they start forcing things. He did a really good job. He wanted to throw the football. You could tell. Drops back. Nothing open. It's okay. I'm just going to take off and get what I can get.
Offense gets set for second down. The give to the back. At the 35, he's open. He's up to 57 yards rushing, and that is quite an impressive first half here in this season opener.
A lot of times when you think about speed back, speed, you think on the edge. You don't think in between the tackles. You don't think about breaking tackles. They try to break your ankles. The problem is when you're trying to run there as fast as you possibly can, a lot of times you don't get to put a good hit on him. And in turn, you see he breaks tackles and makes big plays.
8-yard pickup on first down leaves them with second and short. Quarterback will keep it. The Wolverines will have a first down. The offense will stop the clock and use one of its timeouts. They have declared their intentions on this drive, keeping it on the ground. It's 1st and 10 again. They'll try the right side. And he's able to bounce off one tackle for a solid pickup.
This defense has got to get better at tackling in the open field or gang tackling, because if you need 3 or 4 guys to bring a guy down, have fun with that.
Going to work in the red zone. They can't pick up the first down without getting it into the end zone. Right back to him on the ground. He'll be stopped just short of the end zone, but they'll have it 1st and goal. We've got a timeout in the waning seconds of the half. Maybe a chance to get off a couple more plays. Running out of time here in the first half. They're going to have to be efficient to put some points on the board before the break. Snags it. Gets it into the end zone, but wait a minute. We'll have to check out the laundry on the field. So the decision has been made, and the coach will take the penalty. And the Wolverines will try to put one on the board on 1st and goal. Give to the running back. And a nice solid pickup there before the defense wrestles him to the ground. Quick timeout call by the offense after the play. So with only seconds left in the half, here comes the field goal unit. We've got a timeout here late in the first half, and they'll try to get more seconds of the first half. They'll try to put up 3 before going to the break. From the left hash, and this distance ought to make that angle pretty easy to handle. And it's right down the boulevard. And they'll push that lead out a little further. That's going to wrap up the first half here, and now we join Kevin with the halftime update. And the Hurricanes will kick it away to crank up the second half. The ball squirts through the end zone. That'll be a touchback. They'll bring it out to the 25. And here comes the Michigan offense back on the field. If it's working, why change it? And that running game was working in the first half. I imagine we'll see a lot more of it here in the third quarter.
You just know the offensive line was telling their coordinator, put this on us. Let us continue to go out there, push these guys around. We can put this game on our back and end this thing by running the ball.
And this is a manhood question for this defense. Like, as a defensive lineman, and you're pounding the rock, like, I got to physically rise to this challenge. This defense has to play more inspired and more physical in the second half.
Well, I love the aggressive nature of the defense on that play. Everybody playing with eye discipline. They saw the pre-snap motion. They knew who had the football. And you saw guys play with excellent instinct, running downhill and making a tackle.
On third down, he'll try to pick it up through the air. He's got an open man. And he breaks into the open. Touchdown, Michigan. And once he got loose, it was all over.
And this receiver is on fire. He's got all the skills that you look for in a big-time target. And that's already his second touchdown of the game.
And for a quick update, let's go to Kevin Connors in the studio.
A lot of eyeballs on your game, guys, and a few on this interesting matchup as well. Pitt looks like a bunch of world beaters right now. I'm not sure I've ever seen this offense look this crisp. They're up by 17 over Wisconsin. They'll circle back if anything big happens you need to know about.
Thanks for the update on that one, Kevin. Let us know when it goes final. And here comes that Miami offense back onto the field. After giving up that score, now it's incumbent on this offense to kind of get a back and forth going, Jesse, in this game.
They got to put some points on the board here. There's obviously a lot of football to go, so it's not necessarily panic time just yet. But I'm getting the ball into the hands of my best playmakers on this drive.
I hear you, Jesse, but not panic time. Have you seen my defense? I mean, I'm not trusting them to get a lot of stops, so it puts a lot of pressure on this offense.
After the first down completion, it's second and short. He's looking to throw. And the quarterback caught up to and sacked at the 12. The Canes headed quickly to the line. On third and long, he's going to have to throw for it.
Well, this defense has been dominating their opponent all game long, and I think you're really seeing the fruits of their labor on the recruiting trail. They have got some dudes up front, out of high school, in the portal, and those guys are just wreaking havoc on this offensive line.
They've converted twice on fourth down so far. Will they make it 3? Now the quarterback changing the original play call. On fourth down, trying to find his man. And it's intercepted. A turnover for the defense. Touchdown, Wolverines. And this defense coming up with points of their own. What an interception return.
Yeah, how about that, man? Fourth down, trying to go. Get this offense going, get it sparked, get some points on the board, and that couldn't have gone any worse. They throw the pick. Not only that, they return it all the way back for 6. That offense just shot themselves right in the foot.
And he puts through the extra point. They're about to kick it away, and the defense probably can't wait to get back out there after the pick 6. And they thought about a return, then thought better of it. They'll bring it out to the 25. comes the Hurricane offense looking to gather a little more strength. They face a pretty tall mountain here, Jesse, down 24, but if they're going to climb it, this is a good time to start.
Sense of urgency's got to be big right here. You just get the feeling at this point of the game, David, they've got to score on this drive. Obviously, their defense needs to get stops, but at this point, offensively, they've got to execute much better.
They got to be super aggressive. Down 24, you're going to need 3 touchdowns, 3 two-point conversions, everything to kind of go your way. So fast and throwing the football.
And his first pass is incomplete. It's tough to come in and fire one early. They'll spread the defense out, going 5 wide on 2nd and 10. Anderson will throw. He looks that one in nicely. Found enough room to get it into enemy territory. They're down at the 43-yard line. That was a nice pickup, running the drag route and finding that quiet, soft spot in the zone.
Yeah, drag routes not only work against man coverage, they work against zone too. If you can find the soft spot and the quarterback gets it to him early, he can turn that field, and you saw that right there.
How about that play to get a hand in there and force the incompletion?
Zone coverage that time, and the cornerback, a nice job with his eyes. He's watching the quarterback. He sees the ball thrown, so he knows exactly when to break on it. He's able to break it up for an incompletion.
Gonna take a shot. And it goes through his hands. Oh, he had an explosive play right there for the taking, but couldn't reel it in.
Man, it's so hard to play defense nowadays. You got a strike zone where you can hit people. You get flagged for targeting. You get flagged for pass interference. That was beautiful. Great job in the end zone.
And the defense is all over the quarterback, and down he goes. With a double-digit deficit here in the second half, they're going to go for it on 4th down. He'll try to throw and pick up the first down. He'll take the deep shot. Can't complete the long throw, and the defense gets off the field on 4th down.
And that is a big-time drop right there. 4th down, opportunity to catch it, maybe get the first down. That is tough to swallow, but as a QB, I got to walk over to him and say, listen, dude, we're going to need you later on. I still believe in you.
Corner's right up on that line of scrimmage. And how about the efficiency on that one? It'll bring up 2nd and 4.
Well, this offense came into the game knowing they wanted to be physical, they wanted to establish the line of scrimmage, and they're running downhill right at this defense, and they're churning out positive yardage early.
Runs through a tackle. He's knocked down in the backfield. He'll lose a couple.
You can't let the same guy beat you over and over and over again. You got to make adjustments. Sometimes you got to bring more guys in the box, more guys to the football, and make sure he's not the one who beats you.
Wide receiver now comes in motion. Gonna take a shot. And he's got it at the tag. Works his way to the 4-yard line, and they'll have it 1st and goal.
Thank you very much. That's what the quarterback's thinking on that last play. I think he was even shocked that his receiver was that wide open downfield. He'll take it.
The Wolverines will try to punch it in on 1st and goal. They'll try to get it in with the run. They bring him down, and he's going to lose a yard on that one.
Nice play by the defense, but now is a time they've got to be more consistent. They allowed this running back to go off in that first half, and moving forward now, they've got to try and take this running back away.
And the D deny them on 2nd and goal. Quarterback keeps it. Relentless, tough running, gets it down to the 4. Quick timeout by the defense there, trying to make sure everyone has the same call.
Quarterbacks generally, guys, we know, they're not as big and not as physical runners as running backs. So it is going to be trickier for them to break tackles. I like the idea of getting the design quarterback run game going. Moving forward, let's see if we can get him out to the perimeter.
That one did not go well. Tackled in the backfield for a loss of 6. Now on 4th down, here comes the field goal team. And the kicker delivers the 3 ball to finish off the drive. And now the lead is even bigger. They tacked that last score on just for good measure. pressure as they are getting oh so close to putting this one away. The kickoff is coming. He'll bring it out. It's Johnson. Really disciplined job by the coverage unit to get down there and make the stop at the 19. And here comes that Miami offense back onto the field. We'll see if that failed fourth down in their own end last time, David, sort of curbed some of the aggressiveness.
When you hear about it all the time in football, go for it. Be aggressive. The problem is when you get stopped, sometimes it puts you in a hole. Jesse, now the offense has to come out and respond.
They were real disappointed not getting that first down. You can see it on the sideline. So let's just see if that's kind of galvanized them a little bit here to go make a statement and get some points.
And not much doing there as that defense runs him out of bounds. Second down now as they're ready to go back to work. Anderson wants to throw. It's complete to the right. He's brought down quickly. Minimal gain there. Still a bit short of the first down. The Hurricanes come to the line in the hurry-up. On third and short, the power run here. And boy, is he close to that first down. Maybe just a couple of inches short. Down in the fourth quarter, it's too late for empty possessions. They'll go for it on fourth down. Quarterback checking off. On fourth down, going to the air. Makes the grab well past the sticks. Makes the grab, and it's enough for the first down before he's dragged to the ground. And the Canes are on the move. Really good job there. Don't force anything. Take your time, and he finds his man for the first down.
Yeah, and I think really good job by seeing the defense. Understand.
Fires a bullet. Now it's picked off. Not a lot on the return, but they can live with that as they've got it at the 49.
And as a defensive lineman late in the game, man, when you know it's past, you're pinning your ears back, trying to get to the quarterback, and DBs are trying to do this. Pad them stats, get the INT. Nice job by this D.
Guys, here come those maize and blue winged helmets on offense. There have been few obstacles for this offense as they are starting to pull away here in the second half, Jesse.
And this has been a dream game for this play caller, too, right? It's like anything that he's calling is working flawlessly.
Yeah, it's fun to be the offensive coordinator, but not the defensive coordinator. They have had no answers. It's been an absolutely miserable day trying to solve.
Off he goes! And they'll finally catch up to him, but not before a big chunk of yardage is picked up. From the 14-yard line, it's first and 10. They'll keep it on the ground. They want this clock to move. Second down coming up on this red zone opportunity. Linebackers moving, trying to confuse the quarterback. They're looking to get the edge with this one on the toss. Touchdown, Michigan! And the route is on.
Well, these players came together. I've been so impressed, not just by the talent, but also by their composure. Handling this kind of environment in the first game of the season, this says a lot about the leadership in that locker room.
Let's go to the studio now and check in with Kevin Connors. Kevin, what do you got?
Dynamite matchup this week, fellas. Let's show you what's going down. North Carolina has been able to call its shots offensively. As impressive a performance as I've seen from this group in some time. They're up by 21 over UCF. We've got our eye on things here and everything else going on right now, and any updates, you'll see them here, guys.
And how about that one? Kevin will be keeping an eye on everything going on elsewhere. Anderson will throw. Unloads to the wideout. Into double coverage, and they made him pay. It's intercepted. And they'll close in on him after a good return on the interception.
This is a beautiful situation for the defense. When you're up by 2+ scores and you're in this situation, you know exactly what is coming. It's going to be a pass. They have to because the clock is their enemy. Great job playing pass, forcing the interception, almost putting the nail in the coffin.
Touchdown, Wolverines! And the punishment has been extended.
Points, and more points. This offense has had their way. They just keep their foot on the gas, keep putting up points, keep putting up touchdowns. And you know what? This is one of those stats days. You look back and you're like, that guy had 12 touchdowns on the year. Well, 4 or 5 of them might have been in this game.
He'll bring it out. It's Johnson. He's brought down at the 16. Would have been much better off to take the touchback. Here comes the Hurricane offense looking to gather a little more strength. Well, let's see if this drive goes better than the last one. They were in and out quickly after the quick pick, David.
Yeah, first play, big mistake, man. Now, let's get this offense in a little bit of a rhythm. Maybe before you open it up again, Palmer, or do you trust him right away?
He seems to me like the guy maybe that just needs to kind of get into the flow of the game. So maybe you get the running game going here and just give him some easy looks to let him get lathered up.
Second down here, and maybe they've got time to get one more snap off before the 2-minute warning. The offense calls timeout. It's the second one they've used this half. Now on second down. Motion by the back forces the defense to adjust. Now the pitch. That one did not go well. Tackled in the backfield for a loss of 6.
Yeah, and this offense has to find a way to run the football. They got to get more creative, whatever that looks like for this offense, something to jumpstart them because nothing really going on the ground.
Yeah, defensively, though, you got to give them credit, too, because they knew that physically they were going to...
He wants to take the top off. And he throws his third pick of the day. His head has to be spinning. Didn't really get a chance to get started on that return, but he has set him up at the 41-yard line.
Heat up them pass rushers, bring in them DBs. That's what I'm doing in this situation. When I got the lead by a couple scores late in the ball game in the fourth quarter, I'm going to rush the passer like crazy. I'm going to put all those DBs back playing the pass. That's what happened. Great job understanding they're going to have to take shots. We get the interception. This one's almost over.
He now has 110 yards on the ground, and with that run, he eclipses the 100-yard mark in this season opener. The offense set for a first down play. He will take a knee, and the defense can stop the clock one more time, but this one is just about in the books. The old coaching cliche, go win or no every week, and for the first week, they get it done.
Great start to the season. That's what you